So as far as what diameter to use for volume fans, what to know to use the 0.5, 0.7 or etc. I have a little guide for that, okay? So for volume, for people who don't really know, 0.10 thickness or lower, we usually use for volume. And this is the thickness of the lash, okay? And just to demonstrate, if this is a magnified lash, this is the diameter we're measuring in millimeters in order to get that number. So if this is 0.10 millimeters, that's a 0.10 thickness lash. If it's 0.05 diameter millimeter, that's a 0.05 lash, okay? So that's just for you guys to really know where those numbers come from. And obviously the smaller the diameter, the thinner the eyelash, the bigger the diameter, the wider or the thicker, more coarse the eyelash. Now, some thicknesses that we have that are really common now with volume is 0.03, 0.05, and 0.07. And we actually also carry a 0.02 eyelash in our company, but these three are the most common in today's world, okay? And how do we know it's a volume fan? Again, breaking it down, if there's multiple eyelashes in a fan, it's volume, right? So this one, for example, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 eyelashes in the fan. This is 4D. If I had 20, or this is 10, for example, this is gonna be 10D fan. The number of hairs in that fan that come together in a nice point at the base is what determines that number. And the more eyelashes we're using, the bigger and fuller that fan can look. But what does that mean? That means it's getting heavier and heavier, right? So if I were to use 0.10 or 0.07 eyelashes on like a 20D fan, it's gonna end up being too heavy for that fan, for that lash, for the natural lash. So we bring our diameter of each individual lash down. So the bigger the fan, the thinner eyelash we use. That's kind of the rule of thumb, okay? And again, the way to keep somebody's natural eyelash healthy is if this is a thickness, if somebody's natural eyelash, the thickness of the base of our fan should never be more than double the thickness of the natural lash, okay? If you're doing a 20D fan, you're using 0.07s and you're like, ooh, that's very thick for that client, then go down in thickness. That's how we know what to use. But for me, a general rule of thumb, what I do is I break it down into 1, 2, and 3 categories to know which thickness to use. If I'm gonna do anything up to 6D, so let's say 2D until 6D fans, this is when I like to use the 0.07 thickness. If I'm doing anything between 7D until like 10D, this is where I like to use the 0.05 thickness. And anything that's above the 10D, which is more common than you would think, those mega volume fans, even some fans that some sets that don't look really crazy, we can be using 12D fans. This is when we want to use a 0.03 or 0.02 eyelashes so they don't get really heavy for the client's natural lash. Now, our goal as lash artists is to eliminate any negative talk about eyelash extensions and how it's damaging to the client's natural eyelash. And that's why I'm providing this education for you guys, because we want this industry to thrive and to grow. So make sure you're not putting anything too heavy and too long on the client's natural eyelashes. Just put what they can support and go down in thickness for your volume fans in order to ensure the health of the client's natural eyelashes.